What's going on, guys? Nick Lesagore here.
Brandon Delakia.
Exit 12
Brewery.
in the house. And we are back. Woo! January 24th was my birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick. Happy birthday. It was his birthday.
Today
Happy birthday, Nick.
is the 25th. So my wife gave me a brew day today. Brandon's here.
Yep.
His wife, my cousin, is just about ready to go into labor, but
yeah.
the homebrew hustle sleeps for no one.
Nope.
And we made sure to make everyone aware of that.
Yeah. My phone's right on me, so if this video ends short, that is because my wife goes into labor, but other than that, brew life has to go on.
That's very true. If Brandon happens to look up at his phone while I'm blabbering on about this beer and he runs out of shot,
It's not because he's boring, even though
I'm not boring. That's a fact. You can, that's on record.
The people will decide that.
You can check tape. But today we have a brew day for the BrewTubers 2020 Yeast Experiment. Anytime during this or any video that I say yeast challenge, just know it's yeast experiment. I will often get those two mixed up.
We're not grading this, even though we will win this experiment.
There is no judging, but fair enough, yes.
I'm judging all of it.
Main brew guy Gary put this together. Thank you so much, Gary. This is awesome. And along with the experiment, for the first time ever for one of these experiments, we have sponsors, which is really cool.
So cool.
Woody's Homebrew, the official homebrew shop of BrewTubers, online homebrew club, as well as Imperial Yeast is now an official sponsor. They signed up for a year. Thank you so much, Imperial. The people over there are absolutely amazing to deal with. I can't say that enough. Go out and grab their yeast. 2 billion cells. Amazing stuff. We're using a yeast today from Imperial. And then thirdly, Hopsteiner provided some hops for us, which is really cool.
Yes.
And so here we are. The yeast challenge, the yeast experiment, caught myself, is a basic West Coast IPA that main brew guy Gary put together with Mike Dean and maybe a few others. So we're really excited to brew it. It should be clear as a bell.
We'll see what happens. We're not good with clear beers, but we'll try our best here.
There is some Irish moss going into this, as well as the base grist, as you'll see. For us, because our efficiency is a little on the low end, for us it's 13 pounds, 1.1 ounces of pale two-row, 8.7 ounces of Crystal 40, which is a malt you don't really see that much nowadays, but is very two-style for a West Coast IPA. We have 8.7 ounces of honey malt, 6.1 ounces of acidulated malt, acid malt, as well as 4.4 ounces of dextrin, carapils. So get some head retention on that, some B.
Yeah. Do you want me to go over the hops now? Is that
You're damn right I do.
Okay, all right.
Go over those hops, baby!
I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to do the baby part. Okay, so I'm reading, so I'm probably not going to get this. So we got Centennial, 0.59 ounces going in at 40 minutes of the boil. 45. And then another one at 30 minutes, 0.88. 89
of Centennial.
It's too small, and he's closer.
He got LASIK. He has LASIK.
I did get LASIK, but it's very tiny lettering.
Bananas.
Nick's gonna put all this down there. So then it's a Whirlpool for 20 minutes at 184 of Citra.
194.
194. And 2.27 ounces.
3.7.
It's all going down here. He's just gonna put all of it down there. It's Citra, Centennial, and Simcoe.
2 ounces of Simcoe in a dry hop. So we're really excited about this. We think it's time to get the brew day going.
Oh, before we do that, 2 things. Go to brewtubers.com. And when you're at brewtubers.com, go to brewtubershop.com and get yourself some of this gear right here. Brew gear, son. the BWO shirts.
Why don't you get up close
Ooh,
so you can
see? See this bad boy?
That Brew World Order.
Yeah.
Designed by Brandon.
So designed by me, and then I think we have a Game of Thrones themed one as well, and we're going to have stuff up there pretty regularly. So some cool shirts and other gear for your brew days. Check it out.
And just real quick to end this segment here, we are using juice from Imperial.
Joystick.
We're using Joystick from Imperial again. Thank you, Imperial.
Yes.
And so this is it. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, we finally got the grain milled.
Yep.
It's been a little bit of a day, but let's mash in.
Let's do this.
Here we go. Knee deep in the middle of the mash. As you can see, we are pulling quite clear. And this pump is going. This is probably the fastest we've had it without rice hulls. Of course, there's no flaked adjuncts, but there seems to be no stuck sparge issues, which is awesome.
All right, guys, we ramped up to mash out at 170 for 10 minutes, and now we're gonna do the sparge. Wow, look how clear it is. That's insane. Much clearer than most of our beers, but that could be by design.
Look out for those in futures.
You're rude.
As you can see and hear, the filtering is just phenomenal. No rice hulls, no adjuncts, no mess, no fuss.
All right, guys, so a quick Robo Brew tip to might speed up your brew day. When you're sparging, start ramping up to boil on the Robo Brew. That way, while you're sparging, you can get to boil a lot quicker. Those are some Exit 12 tips.
All right, we got the Robo Brew heating up. We just pulled up the mash with the malt pipe, and now we're gonna sparge. And the way we do it in an electric brewery is with our Brewer's Edge mash and boil. We have heated the water up to 160. I don't like to go the full 170 necessarily, just I don't want to overheat the grain. I don't want to scorch it or anything while we're sparging, but take a little Pyrex, and then to sparge, I turn the stirring spoon over, and it forms a bit of a little raindrop action. And we continue this process until we've hit our desired volume. All right, 15 minutes into the boil. We're gonna add the Centennial. A little over a half an ounce. And that smells as good as I look right now.
Kaboom! All right, guys, the 30-minute edition, 0.89 ounces of Centennial going in right now. All right, guys, it's dry hop time. We're down to 194. We have 2 3/7 ounces of Citra that is going to go in for 20 minutes. Let's do this. Kaboom.
All right, so we let the hops steep for 20 minutes. We're in the middle of cooling down now. You guys, for the most part, have seen our cool down process, but we use a wort chiller, an immersion chiller, and we just run the beer through the coils. But one thing that we added that we may not have shown you to this point is this strainer. I got this strainer from my sister-in-law for Christmas, and I didn't know, this was Christmas years ago, and I didn't know it would be such a vital tool for us. We put the hops in willy-nilly, for the most part. And so when we are cooling down, we like to run the hops through this strainer. It also picks up some excess grain bits and things like that. But as you can see, there are quite a bit of hop sludge in there. We're probably going to shut this off. I'm going to siphon this, or I'm going to filter this a little bit more, and then we'll clean it, and then we're going to reuse it. All right, it's time for us to transfer to the fermenter. We've already started, but I'm going to take a sample here. We're at 71 degrees. Just going to take a small sample, take a peek. It looks a little on the hazy side, and it's a little light, but we'll see how it clears out. And we'll be back.
Alright guys, we are filling up the Fermzilla. Hopefully we got a good yield. It looks like we got a decent yield. Like Nick said, we may be a little bit on the hazy side. We'll cold crash it and see what happens. Yeast Experiment 2020.
All right, we are ready to pitch. We have our starter here with our Imperial Yeast Joystick blend.
Imperial Yeast, sponsor of the 2020 BrewTubers Yeast Experiment. Almost said challenge.
This is very true. So we're at about 65 degrees now, which is pretty much where we want it to be. I have the fridge going because the range is 60 to 70, and we really wanted to pitch around 62 to 63 so that when the fermentation, when it builds up and it increases in temperature, we don't go over that threshold of 70. But what I'm going to do is pitch at 65. We're going to allow the fridge to get the beer down to about 62, 63, and then we'll shut it off at that point and let it get up in temperature naturally with the fermentation. So let's pitch. That yeast at the bottom. It's important to adequately, if you're going to be putting in the entire starter, as you can see, the bottom of the flask now doesn't have that small little yeast cake on it.
Go! Yeast challenge.
And as Brandon said, let's go yeast challenge, and it is just about in the books for Exit 12 Brewery.
Yeah.
Good luck to the rest of the participants, or the members of the Homebrew Club. Brewtubers.com. Cheers.